Like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Analysis. Sorry, homeowners shouldn't get all the tax breaks. The plight of private market tenants has rarely looked so grim, particularly in major cities like London, where record rents are combined with soaring energy costs to exacerbate a cost of living crisis. The city's mayor, Sadiq Khan, has repeatedly urged the government to impose a rent freeze. However, policies that could provide short-term relief would likely exacerbate supply constraints. Tax policies in most countries are overwhelmingly favorable to homeownership. There are good reasons for this. Buying a home gives people a stake in society and encourages them to be responsible and stable citizens. It is also sound financial planning. Property values almost always increase over time, so the purchase creates economic security for the buyer. Even if the price does not increase, paying off a mortgage builds equity and creates a pool of wealth which may support consumption later in life. This has helped create an unfortunate demographic. Those who earn too much to qualify for subsidized housing, but are not wealthy enough to become homeowners, and are effectively trapped in the private rental market. All too often, that squeezed middle finds itself constantly on the spot, with money that might pay off a mortgage or save for a deposit that's being eaten up by rent payments and other expenses. Private renters in the UK are in a particularly vulnerable position, according to 2020 figures from the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development. The picture has almost certainly deteriorated since then amid a pandemic, a resurgence in inflation and rising housing costs. According to data from Rightmove, asking rents in London rose 15.7% year-on-year in the fourth quarter. For economists, housing is an asset and therefore, if the tax system is to be neutral, it should be taxed like any other asset. But this does not apply to owner-occupiers. An investor who buys a house in the UK and then lets it out will be subject to tax on the rental income at his or her marginal rate and capital gains tax if it is sold. Quite simply, any change that could seriously affect homeowners' wealth would be political suicide in a democracy. In the UK, 64.9% of households were owner-occupiers in 2021, compared with a peak of 70.9% in 2003. What governments could do, however, is offer compensating tax breaks to the squeezed private tenant class. After all, they are hardly a minor lobby themselves, having grown from around 9% to 18.5% of the UK market in the early 1990s. With that in mind, it is perhaps surprising that there wasn't more political pressure to make them a fairer offer. This is an up-and-coming group who can reasonably expect their lives to improve in the future. Leaving them on a treadmill going nowhere for too long is likely to have adverse consequences for the UK economy, destroying incentives and fueling resentments about the economic system. The idea doesn't come out of nowhere. Hong Kong, another city with notoriously high housing costs, has what it calls a rent rebate system, which allows employers to classify part of the compensation as a reimbursement for those costs, thereby reducing the employee's taxable income.